good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're watching. Today is going to be a really good. I like this call that I'm about to do. It's called Three Reasons Why You Listened to the Destroyer Within You. All right. So first of all, we all have this destroyer within us, but the reason why we don't understand or we don't connect with this destroyer, there's three main reasons why we keep listening to this destroyer. You could call it your negative self-talk, you could call it your self-sabotage, your false self, or whatever it is within us. There's a destroyer that wants to destroy what we've built. And I looked up the definition of destroyers. I looked up a person and a thing that destroys something, that tears down, demolish, pull down, and put to an end. So we all have a part of us that wants to destroy. But the reason, one of the number one reason why it's so easy to listen to that, even though the results in our life is showing, like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep getting involved with this relationship? Why do I keep making the same mistake? Because the voice of this destroyer is seducting. It's just seduction. And I looked up the word seduction is to persuade to disobedience, to disloyalty, to being led astray, to persuade to a false promise. I really like that one, false promise. The reason why we listen to this part of us, because it promises something that we always needed. Like, I'll give you an example of feeling not worthy or not important. It promises that if you act upon this course of action where you know it's not going to be good, you're going to feel this sense of importance, this sense of your self-worth, your confidence will feel much better once you act upon this thing within you that you know is not the right thing. So it contradicts your true self. But the reason why, because it deals with an unmet need. And it's a childhood need, but it's an unmet need that you feel like, man, if I could just only have this one person, if I could only have this one relationship, and you already know the relationship is not the one for you, but you still give into it. Why? Because of that unmet need. It could be feeling an unworthiness. But the reason why we listen is because it's very charming to that need. It's a false promise. Number two, it focuses only on the short-term relief. What I mean by that, it promises comfort. It promises that the pain won't be that long. It promises that you're not going to feel too much pain. You just give in, violate your boundaries. It's going to be okay. It's just 2% pleasure is worth the 98% of pain that's going to keep going, residual pain for the rest of your life. It persuades you. It tells you that it's okay. It's okay. The reward is it's worth the pain. And I'm telling you, if you really look back at some of the things that you've given to in your life, whether it be the relationship or the decision that you gave into, you will start to hear and see that destroys the persuasion, the short term, the promise of comfort. Even when you're making a decision, say to get into business or whatever you're doing, you are still sitting in that comfort because it's promising. If you just stay in, if you don't let your light shine, you'll be safe. And the problem with all this is this. Third reason is it treats you well until you actually act out. Until you act out, then shame comes along. And it gives you this identity of shame. And the problem with living in shame is denial. If there's so much shame within you, you're going to start to deny the fact that your life is falling apart. You're gonna have to, because man, my life can all fall apart like this, right? So you can see that there is this constant conversation within you, and there's this constant denial. And the reason why denial happens, again, because number one, it's very seductive. That destroyer is very seductive to your needs. And you think it's you making the decision. You think, yeah, I made that decision because I wanted this. Really? Let's go for the solution. Number one, find the truth. Find the truth of how to meet your need in a healthy way. So you see, find the truth, because we don't stop enough to go, okay, I've got this need. I want to be worthy, right? I want to feel enough. I want to feel authentic. I want to say things. I want to do things, but we don't slow down enough to go, okay, what exactly do I actually need? How can I meet that need in a healthy way? Because we're so busy meeting it in a healthy way, it becomes our way of living. So number one is figure that out. Okay, write this down. It's like, okay, how do I feel? Okay, even if it's food, right? Like sometimes My need is like sugar, man. I want to get some sugar, right? Or whatever that need is, right? Maybe it's loneliness. How do I fit that need in a way, feel that need in a way that is healthy? Of course, sugar is obviously, you want to get something that's sweet, but that's maybe fruits, okay? Number 2, review the consequences of the short-term relief. Review the consequences. Review the price that you're paying. Have you ever, like when you make your decision, write down the price and write down the benefit. Write down, okay, what are my price and what is the false benefit of me actually acting out on this thing? What is it actually costing me? Because denial stops you from believing in the consequences or even seeing the consequences. And lastly, reclaim and reinforce your true identity. And how do I do that, Mickey? Because now you got to recognize the destroyer's voice. Now you got to recognize the destroyer's pattern. If you don't recognize the destroyer's pattern, you won't recognize your true authentic self. And that comes from doing a lot of healing work. It comes from, at least for me, what I had to do, I had to go back to the thing that I denied that I felt growing up. The thing that I thought was okay when they were not okay becomes my pattern of thinking that things are okay when they're really not. Like I will endure pain now because it's a pattern of me enduring pain from my past, and it became normal. So you got to have somebody else looking at you and going, okay, why am I actually allowing all this craziness in my life? Because I'm used to it. Because it's dysfunction, I'm used to it. So you can't walk in truth when you're living in a lie. All right, that's what I wanted to share. Well, thank you so much for watching my videos. Please do subscribe if you like the video, and please share it. And also click on the bell button there so you can be notified with any new videos that I come out with. Thank you.